Hi guys, Mrs. Harriet here coming at you from my kitchen. Uh, this has been a crazy couple of weeks, I know. It has been for me, I'm sure it has been for you all. Believe it or not, I'm kind of nervous making a video like this. I mean, we talk in front of each other every day, but the whole video thing is just different, isn't it? Well, I just want to get on here first and say hello, and I miss you guys, all of you, and those of you who have reached out with an email just asking how I'm doing, saying how you're doing, and just checking in. That's been great. It's kind of helped keep things normal, so to speak. So, I wanted to hop on here and first of all say hi and also talk to you a little bit about the e-learning modules that you're going to be seeing, the way you're going to be graded for these next 5 weeks of quarter four, and just kind of walk you through the project that I've created for you, and get to talking about that. So, without further ado, if you would, go ahead and pause the video here for a second and open up, and I'm going to open up mine too on my iPad. Open up the file, the Google Doc that's titled English 10 Short Story Creative Writing Assignment. So it's going to look, oh gosh, glare. I can't even do this stuff. Looks like this. Okay. All right. So pause and open that up. All right. If you guys are ready to go, let's check it out. So, the major project you're going to be working on, as you can see, is writing your own short story. I wanted to do something with you that was more tapped into your creative side, that helped you use your imagination, maybe kind of escape what's going on right now in the world and create your own world. So, with this, it says over the next 5 weeks, and I'm just reading the overview here. Over the next 5 weeks, you'll be working on a narrative writing piece. Each week, you will have a new e-learning module that focuses on a different aspect of fiction writing. So, for example, the first one I've got for you, and I'm just looking this up real quick. The first module is going to be titled How to Build a Fictional World. And so you'll watch a video and answer a few questions about that video. The video will be short, 4 or 5 minutes. Then you'll have, I believe, 5 questions to answer. And the answers are in the video, so you can stop the video and go back and play it as many times as you need to get those answers right. So it'll take about 15 minutes for you to do, nothing too bad. And then I want you to work on your own short story for about 35 minutes. It says make sure you set aside time for independent reading each week. You know, that's important to us. And ideally, you should be reading a novel or other work of fiction to get ideas for your own story. This project is your chance to show your creativity by generating your own unique descriptive story. You develop your own characters and plot and have complete control over the imaginative process. You just have to make sure you incorporate the criteria below, which we will review in just a second. It says push yourself to go beyond your comfort zone. So when you are writing your stories, when you're coming up with, okay, what setting do I want to put this story in, time and place? What kind of main character do I want to create? What will happen in the story? What's the plot? Can I put any foreshadowing or symbolism in my story? I want you to think back to the short stories we read at the beginning of the year. Contents of the Dead Man's Pocket, The Summer People, Two Kinds, Everyday Use. If you Google any of those stories, you will find them online. If you want to look back at the elements that those authors used to create their stories, that would be a wonderful thing for you to do if you're having trouble coming up with some ideas for yourself. All right, so let's get into the necessary elements and criteria. So if you need to pause the video again for a second, go ahead. We are going to go into the checklist. So what does your story have to have? Well, I said you need to be creative and imaginative, and really most of it is up to you. But these are the things that you have to have, and every story has to have them in order to make sense or be successful. So genre. So your story should fall within a specific genre. Is it a romance story? Is it a comedy, a tragedy, science fiction, fantasy, historical fiction, that kind of thing. So can I tell what genre it is? Is it obvious to me? You got to have a setting, so time and place. That's usually introduced at the beginning of your story, right? You got to have a conflict. If there's no conflict or no problem for your character to solve or to overcome, you got a really boring story. So it can be an internal conflict. It does not have to be external. It can be internal, but there has to be one main conflict, something your character has to overcome. And maybe they will, maybe they won't by the end of the story. That's up to you. Got to have one main character, got to have at least two minor characters, people that interact with your main character, and you have to have a plot. So think of that witch hat trajectory, the plot diagram that you've talked about for years with the exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution. I want to see evidence of all five of those things here. You got to have obviously some kind of point of view. So choose either first person point of view or third person, limited or omniscient. Okay. There needs to be a theme that comes out of all of this. So theme is a good place for you to start. What do you want your readers to take away from your story? When they finish reading it, what lesson should they learn? What do you want them to get out of it? Why did they read it? How's it going to change their lives? So there needs to be some kind of theme in there that comes out of all of it. Make sure you have dialogue formatted and punctuated correctly. Your characters have to talk, right? And for examples of how to do that, a Google search of formatting dialogue, open a book that you have at home and look how it's formatted and just kind of copy that style. You know how to do. Vivid imagery, show, don't tell. So you need to be descriptive with your word choice. You need to be purposeful with your vocabulary. Make sure that you have it. Well, this is just kind of the technical stuff. Double space your story. Please use size 12 font. A standard font like Arial, Times New Roman, or Calibri. No wingdings, please. I want to be able to read it. Creative title. When your story's done, or maybe at the beginning, if a great title comes to you right away, boom, put it up at the top and center it. Something short that will draw your reader in. And then, how long does this have to be? The age-old question, right? A minimum of 1,000 words. That is roughly 4 pages double spaced in order to do the assignment well. And what does that mean to do it well? Well, if you've incorporated all the elements that we just talked about, you have the exposition all the way through to the resolution. You're going to have about 4 pages, and that might seem daunting at first, I know. But once you get going on your story and once you start developing your characters, describing them, having them do things and go places and talk to people, you're going to find that 4 pages will come really easily. In fact, most students find that it's hard for them to stop writing. 4 pages turns into 5, 6, 7, 8, and on and on and on. So usually the challenge turns into keeping it short and sweet and having things happen in a short amount of time versus a long amount of time in a story. You don't want it to just go on and on and on. So if you think about it, this project is not due the whole thing until Friday, May 1st. So you have 5 weeks to work on it. 4 pages, double spaced, right? So if you shoot for around a page a week, maybe even a little bit less than that, in terms of writing, how much you should be writing. I mean, that's a good way to pace it. Now, you might be the type of person, you start writing, you get inspired, and you can't stop, and you write it all in one sitting. Hey, cool. That just gives you more time to play with what you've got written down as a draft. Fine by me. So, all right. Let's move on to the due dates. Your rough draft is due Friday, April 24th. With a final draft polished and edited Friday, May 1st is the final due date for that. That is also, you've probably just realized, the day that this school closure might come to an end. So if it's due Friday, May 1st, I'd love to see you on Monday, May 4th and talk about your stories face to face, but we shall see what happens there. So You got a points breakdown there too. It tells you when your modules will be. So you're gonna have one module per week, like I said. And make sure that you are doing those because those are your weekly grades. You can see they're just worth 15 points each, but that does add up. Your rough draft, having it done on time, 50 points. And the final copy is worth 100 points. All right, let's scroll down a little bit more. And the last thing on this document is the rubric for the story. The rubric really, as you can see here, it just lists all the things that we just discussed, the criteria, and tells you how many points everything is worth, or each thing is worth, and it all adds up to 100 points. Well, I think it does. If it doesn't, if I made a math error, that wouldn't surprise me. So feel free to point that out if there's an issue there. But other than that, this is a pretty self-explanatory project. I do want you to have fun with it. I do want you to be creative and, use this as an opportunity to, maybe put a little bit more effort, maybe put a little bit more care and thought into your work and creativity into your work here. You got a lot of time on your hands. We all do right now. So we're going to do the best that we can. If at any time you have any questions, you need to get a hold of me, you want to run something past me, whatever, my office hours tentatively I've set for 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. each day. If you want to talk face to face, you would like to do a video chat, we can get that going. We can use Google Meets or something along those lines and talk face to face. If you just want to pop in and say hi, hey, feel free to do that because I would love to see you and talk to you. So hopefully this project is something that is pretty self-explanatory, very manageable, and I hope you have fun with it. So of course, I'll be checking in with you week by week to see how things are going. And yeah, I think that's about it for a 12-minute intro video, longer than I thought it would take. But I miss y'all, and I hope I will see you soon. But in the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, wash your hands, take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.